Welcome back to Wine Whine Real Estate Uncorked. Today we are talking about one of Silicon Valley's best kept secret communities.
I can't wait. What is it?
Oh, it's the Villages Golf and Country Club, which is a 55 and over community located in the beautiful hills of Evergreen.
Absolutely.
We're also going to touch base on the current market. I know there's a lot of news surrounding the market and active inventory, which we haven't seen in quite a while. So let's jump into the market first.
Sure.
Okay, so I have some stats here. I'm going to look on my screen. So active total inventory is at 2317. And that is broken down to 1405 single family residences and 912 on the condo townhomes.
It's the highest since July of 2022.
I have June of 2019.
Wow. Well, it's lower than that then.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think on the bright side of it, there's more, there's really not a downside because well-priced properties are still selling with multiple offers. Buyers have more to look at. I think overall, if you've been in this market long enough and in the real estate industry, this is something that, in my opinion, is a beautiful place for both buyers and sellers.
Absolutely. And again, more choices. That's great. And the Bay Area or Silicon Valley specifically is not like the rest of the country. Where other parts of the country with higher inventories are seeing lower prices, we're seeing continued appreciation and continued demand.
Right. And so I think you really have to pay attention to that when you're seeing national news. Even our local news reports national news, which you would think it would be more hyper-local in regards to our specific information, but a lot of those headlines read very scary things that are not for us.
I'll share a quick story, but we'll get on everything else. I was reading my feed from Google. I follow real estate feeds both locally and nationally. And in the same feed, real estate market in trouble. And it's in the exact same feed, Bay Area houses prices up 3.8%.
Yeah, I see that. That's exactly that. But if for those, I'm sure not many follow real estate like we do and look at numbers on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
So you're going to see a headline and you're going to get scared, right? Yep. It's a scare tactic, and that's what a lot of the news does. That's why we do these things. It's our responsibility within this business to educate and promote what's actually truly happening.
And I'll repeat myself. Headlines are there to terrify, not clarify.
That is true.
So
I think, a couple good points in this current market. Buyers have worked through the interest rate scares.
Absolutely.
And have adjusted to what needs to happen in order to see the value and still provide in buying a home. See that the values are continually rising and to not wait.
Yep.
Interest rates are going to do what they're going to do, right?
That's right. And I'll have one more quick story, and then we can get on to our main topic.
Yeah.
I was researching a whole lot of information regarding interest rates, and in late 70s, or maybe, around the late 70s, interest rates were 7.73%. And people then thought they'd have to wait. Let's wait. Well, they would have had to wait 22 years to see the interest rate to come down. So if you're renting, 22 years worth of rent pays a heck of a lot of that property owner's mortgage.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I guess the time is when you can, right?
That's right. And property will appreciate, especially here. We're talking locally, of course.
Of course. Well, great. Well, let's jump into, I think this topic is very near and dear to our heart, especially yours, you being a resident and also doing a ton of business inside the gates of the Villages Golf and Country Club in San Jose, which I thought would be a very exciting topic today because we do have a lot of people that have thought about taking that leap. There's some questions around certain things that we're going to discover today and talk about, like why are the HOAs so high?
Right.
What is the community like? What is it offering? And what would that next step take to get there? So let's dive right in.
Certainly.
So we've helped a number of buyers and sellers in San Jose and actually outside of San Jose move into the Villages. So why don't you talk about the Villages as far as the resort style community, what the benefits are. So it is 55 and up, correct?
Correct. So the rules are that one resident has to be at least 55 years old, but the youngest that anyone can be is 45 years old. So if someone has a sibling or a...
But they can't buy if they're 45.
Anybody could buy. Anybody could buy. You could buy it at 21 years old or 18 years old. You just can't live there. So one resident has to be 55 years or older.
Oh.
And
Even I didn't know that.
yeah, see that anybody can own. In fact, one of our clients, owns out there.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
it can happen, but you just can't live there, nor can you go out and enjoy the amenities. So it is literally the best kept secret in Santa Clara County. This is a resort community, private golf and country club situated in the East Foothills of San Jose. And it is a bargain for getting into country clubs. Not only are the amenities beyond belief, and I can go into every one of them. You have a 9-hole practice golf course. You have an 18-hole championship golf course. You've got tennis courts, bocce ball courts, 5 swimming pools, 5 event centers. You have pickleball, a 6,000 square foot gym,
Equestrian center.
You have farming. You can plant your own tomatoes. There's lots of land to be. There's 540 acres of open space for hiking. It just goes on and on and on. 100 different social clubs. You name a club that you want to be in. I don't care from religion all the way to politics. They've got it. The Italian club, for example, there's a 3-year waiting list to get into the Italian club. It's so.
What are you waiting
popular.
for?
Well, I'm on the list, and I've lived there 12 years.
Jeez.
So, but it is truly, and on top of all that, it's security. There's a 24-hour security force. It's a gated community. You have to have access to get in. You can't just show up. And
I will attest to that working, because there have been times that my name is permanently on the list.
That's right.
And if it's not on the list, you cannot get in.
It's
so
true.
That is a very good point to point out for those with, aging parents that are still wanting that to be on their own. I mean, this is a great way to keep them protected.
Yeah, and it's a fully active community. We talk about it being a retirement community. It's a senior living community.
Yeah.
It's fully active. There's so much going on in any one week, including trips out of the country, trips to baseball games, trips to the theater. It goes on and on. And for security and safety principles, less than a quarter of a mile outside the front gates of the villages is a fire department. So for emergency situations, they are right on the spot. And that really, really helps with people that are trying to think about what could happen if something went wrong. They're right there.
So I think people assume that it's 55 and older, but I think you go to much older in your brain as far as going there. But we've actually seen a huge wave of the younger 55 and over buyers.
It's true. The average age of the villages has dropped tremendously since I moved out there 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It's dropped dramatically. And every day I see more and more younger, and I'm saying at 55 to 65 years old, coming in and moving in. And these are people who, this is our wheelhouse for our people. These are people who want to sell their home in the valley and then move to the country club,
right,
and have a country club living. It's a great move.
One of the other things we've also experienced is for remote workers. So people that are traveling nurses that want to get a footprint in the Bay Area that is less expensive, because obviously we know our average price point is much higher than that, than of the villages. They can get a condo in the villages. It's safe. They don't have to worry about the property while they're away and traveling to other places.
Absolutely.
That's been a huge thing that we've seen as well.
I mean, you look at pricing, and that's a great conversation to just touch on. We currently have a couple listings up there, and it ranges from a townhouse, kind of condo style. There are no townhouses; they're condos, 1,400 square feet at $699,000,
right,
and to a full-size single family home at $1.5 million. I mean, that same home in the valley would be $2.2 to $2.3 million. So
let's talk about HOA, because that seems like a big sticking point for people that don't understand what that number looks like, because the HOAs vary.
Correct.
Village to village, number one, and the type of property.
Correct.
And so they run roughly what to what? So
it's based on your footprint.
Okay.
So not just the square footage of the unit that you own, the surrounding patio, a garage, and pieces of that. They call it their PFA, and that's the what they base the homeowners association on, the dues. Now the dues are different for condos versus single-family homes. And the difference is because on a single-family home, you're responsible for the whole property. You have to worry about the exterior, you have to worry about the roof, you have to worry about the maintenance of your yard, you pay your own water, you pay your own garbage, whereas in a condo, you do not. In a condo, you just worry about the interior.
Right.
And both get a deal on cable. You get a discounted cable package to come in. it's called a common cable purchase. The whole community purchases this cable, and so you get it from Comcast cheaper than normal. Normal bill, the average bill is probably around $89 for full-on cable and internet access.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, so you have 2,309 residences up there. About 240 of them is about the single-family style.
Okay.
So single-family styles run between the low 400s to the mid 500s for homeowners associations.
Okay.
The other ones, depending on what size your property is, their footprint again, somewhere between $1,150 and upwards of $1,600. Now, it sounds like a lot. But I'll tell you, when I moved to the Villages, my bill, I had a house in Willow Glen, my bill for the things that I no longer had to pay for exceeded $2,000 a month. And when I moved out there 12 years ago, my HOA bill was about $800.
Okay.
So it took care of my garbage, took care of my water, took care of the exterior maintenance, took care of the exterior insurance. It allows for the right to be in a private country club. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot to somebody, but if you go and buy in a country club, you go to Almaden, you go to Silver Creek, you go to La Rinconada, you're going to have a huge buy-in. Buy-in meaning you got to buy into the membership, anywhere from $40,000 to $150,000. Then you have the monthly minimum, which you have to spend that money at the pro shop, in the restaurants, or the bar, or playing golf. And like at Silver Creek, it's like $900 a month.
Right.
So if you take out the piece that is the private membership, which in the Villages it runs about, call it $370, it's slightly less, and that's the amount of money that they use to help subsidize both restaurants. You have a full-service restaurant, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have a bistro that's more of the pub-style eating. You have an exterior patio, which is awesome. It just goes on. And so you're buying into a country club with no minimum purchase amount and no buy-in other than your monthly dues.
Right.
It's the greatest deal in the world. Now, you get golf. Golf is discounted. You have a member fee, which is about $50 around less than the guest fee. So it's a deal. It's incredible. And a lot of people just don't understand what you get for the HOA fee that you pay. Plus, you get reserves. My roof was replaced 2 years ago. Didn't cost me a dime. And I've got a brand new tile roof.
So for people that have kids visiting, or because, the 55, I've heard some questions of what my grandkids come and visit me, that kind of stuff. And it's all, you can only go if you're only 50, if you're 55 and over. What does that look like?
Yeah, I have to wait for my grandkids to be 55.
No. Yeah, that's why you don't want to come over.
No, well, you can have visitors. You can have underage visitors. You have up to 60 days annually at no more than 30-day increments. So if the grandkids wanted to come for a month in the summer, they could for 30 days. Then they have to vacate, and then they could come back for another 30 days.
But they can use the facilities as well.
Absolutely.
So they can swim. They can do all the things. Yeah. You can take them. One of the beautiful things that, we've done is drive the golf carts around.
That's right.
You can drive up the hill, feed the horses a carrot. Yeah. There's all kinds of really cool things.
And the views from the top of the Villages are amazing. You see the whole valley. It's just incredible views. And the kids can go play golf. They have a junior golf camp every year for kids that both my grandkids with Nicolette have been there and played and participated. It's a fantastic. It really is. Now, the one point that we should clarify, that the swimming for children is restricted to certain hours.
Right.
But it's basically like from 10 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. So, and then they want everyone to be quiet because we go to bed early up there.
Well, I think that, it's independent living for adults who want to enjoy their life without the burden of the upkeep, right? Yeah. So selling, just like you did, selling your home in Willow Glen, getting this beautiful community. There's widows that we've helped moved out there that, you're going to have 55 casseroles delivered the first day you move out there. I'm guaranteeing you that. You have no problem meeting people, making new friends, getting into active communities, and it's a beautiful place to just take a breath and look all around you.
And it's as much as you like or as little as you like. There are a lot of people who stick in their homes and don't go out. But most people are outgoing, friendly, enjoy the company of others, and there's always events to be meeting people. They have theater events too. They have their own acting club out there where they put on plays. It really is an amazing community. And the history of the Villages, which is just phenomenal. There's a book out about the history of the Villages. It's been around since the mid 1800s, and at one time was the largest wine producing region in the nation. It was incredible.
Wow.
It just goes on and on. There's a historic mansion on there on the property that it just goes on.
And I think we need to again say the Villages of San Jose.
Yeah. Yes, it's not.
There's a Villages community in Florida that is quite
completely different.
Has some
different.
wild videos online. That isn't it a nudist colony?
No,
or
it's
something?
not a nudist colony, but there's like 50,000 residents. That's
I've heard there's some pretty wild things that happen at that Villages. So
Those
the
are-
Villages
those
in
are
San Jose is not
No.
comparable to the Villages in Florida.
Not near it. Not anywhere near. At least that I know of.
That's funny. Well, I think it was really important, like I said in the beginning, this is such a near and dear community in our heart that we sell a lot of properties in. Obviously, we're very knowledgeable on the community. I've done multiple tours.
Yeah.
You live there. You're within the residence. You're playing in the member golf tournament
Sponsor
this weekend.
that thing.
Sponsoring it. We just wanted to make sure that everyone had a little bit more in-depth knowledge around the community itself. There's so many misnomers out there about what the community is like. And I guarantee once you take a look, you're going to be blown away. So,
and it's a great way with what we know from our experience of how to put a plan together in exiting your large home. You want to downsize to a community that you're going to have so much fun in. And that's one thing we can really help with.
yeah, so if you have any questions, would like to take a tour of the Villages.
Oh, you can check our website. There's a video about the Villages on our website.
We do. We've also provided tours in the car where I take you around like the Jungle Cruise as well. So it's really fun. So if you have any questions about the market, any questions about the Villages or anything else that we can help, or if someone is talking about downsizing or looking into the community, we'd be happy to help them. So just forward or share this message. Thank you.
If you want to go play golf, call me. I'll take you out for golf.
There you go. There you go. All right. Thanks again for joining us for Wine Whine, Real Estate Uncorked. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Thank you.